to Breakfast with Spaniels with Dr. Judy Morgan.
Good morning. Mila is in her same spot that she always is. That's about all she does. And of course we have Marvin. He's eating breakfast right now.
Remember, you can purchase all of Dr. Morgan's products at her website at www.drjudymorgan.com. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, good morning. So I found out yesterday on the topic of natural health that the shampoo and conditioner I've been using, the OGX Argan Oil shampoo, is being recalled from Johnson & Johnson. And so if you use that shampoo, throw it away. It's part of a class action lawsuit. And ironically, I look over, I'm in the shower, and Brandon was like Googling if the class action lawsuit was legitimate. And I look over and I had my Project Suds bars for the dogs. And I was like, here I am myself using a shampoo and conditioner that's being recalled for potential carcinogens. And I have this really awesome, clean shampoo and conditioner I've been using for my dogs. So I, last night, used the dog's shampoo and conditioner, which I know is safe, clean, and naturally healthy. So just go figure. I'm the one that's probably using the worst things out of our whole household of pets and people. So anyway, I just wanted to talk briefly about what's coming up in the pipeline. So next week, we're actually going to be interviewing Julianne Lee, who's the founder of Adored Beast Apothecary. And she's going to talk a little bit about her story and about Adored Beast, but I also asked that they could talk about their protocols. They have quite a few protocols that they've put together. We carry a few of them on the website. We have personally used the Easy Peasy protocol, which is for urinary health. We also have their leaky gut protocol for both dogs and cats. I think they also have on their website a yeast protocol, I believe. But anyway, so that'll be a great interview, and she'll be coming up next week. After that, I had mentioned last week, but Panda, you're gonna drive all the doggies crazy. So after that, we are going to actually be talking about Panda, who is squeaking her toy. She's had a chronic itching issue for many years, and we've gotten about 90% of the way there. But we are going to be, we went through the Nutriscan testing for Panda, which is the food sensitivity testing by Dr. Jean Dodds. And so we're going to talk about Panda as kind of a case study when it comes to itchy pets. And we're going to go through the whole process of what we've done with her and her Nutriscan results, and kind of go through the whole process with everyone that I'm going through right now, trying to get her to stop being so itchy. So I have been talking about products a lot. Normally we don't talk about products this much. The reason why we've had so many new products is because typically once a year as a team, we'll pause and look at the pet industry and see what cool new things are on the market, or older things that we haven't had a chance to onboard, and we'll pick up 5 to 10 new things. Well, this year we did that all online because we haven't been traveling due to COVID, and we found so many cool things. And since we have a warehouse, I am like stuffing it to the brim with awesome things that we've found. So that's why this year it's definitely been a lot more products than normal. And so today we're not going to talk about products. With my bird friend here, Marvin, I don't know, I admit I don't know that much about birds. And so when I started pet sitting him, I started looking into bird care, and there's this whole section of like natural bird care products and food. And ironically, there's a lot of home cooked recipe for your birds, and you can make their own food that's really nutritious. And it turns out that I basically was feeding Marvin, I guess, kind of like the kibble equivalent for birds, and I had no idea. So it kind of occurred to me when we have, some of you have been doing this for years and years and years. Others are a little bit new, and it can be overwhelming when you're entering into this space and you say, hey, I have, in my case, it was a bird, but cat or a dog. And, they have some issue, or they're young and I want to keep them healthy for a long time. They're older and I want to maximize their lifespan. And it gets very overwhelming when you start to scratch the surface and see all of the information that is in the natural pet care industry. So I kind of wanted to rewind, and we talked about a bunch of awesome products, but we're going to go back to the basics. So for us at Naturally Healthy Pets / Dr. Judy Morgan and team, our number one goal always has been empowering and educating pet parents so that you all can advocate for your animals and make the best decision based on your lifestyle, your pet's lifestyle, and what works best for you. That has always been our number one goal. That most of the things that we do for that goal are completely free, and that's what we spend the most time and energy and money on. Like all of these videos, all of the blogs. We host online summits twice a year, which are completely free. So that is our number one goal. We're not like salesy in that respect. We really try to focus on educating and empowering. We spend hours and hours on social media, which we totally would not do if we weren't feeling like we were helping people and connecting with people that are hoping to learn more and advocate for their animals. So having said that, we do sell products on drjudymorgan.com. Now, our second goal above number one is education and empowering. Our goal below that is to be able to have a safe space where you could go and you know that anything that you get from our store is going to be naturally healthy and good for your pet. And you don't have to spend, like when I go on chewy.com sometimes to surf around and see if there's anything new. If I want to try anything, like as a consumer, I have to spend hours and hours researching the brands, the ingredients, the sourcing, and it's very labor intensive, and I really don't like it. And that's what we do on the front end before we ever put anything on our website. So that's really the reason why we do products. It's so that way you all have options when you come to our store and you say, hey, I'm looking for a good probiotic. There's hundreds out on the market, but I know that Dr. Judy has at least researched the ones that she has on her store. So that's our goal. We started with having basically one product option for the different types of, issues or concerns. So we had pretty much like one probiotic, one digestive enzyme, one cranberry supplement. Now because we have the warehouse, we've able to grow a little bit, and we can say, okay, instead of having one probiotic option, we have these 5 that are all slightly different from different brands, different places, and you can see which one works best for you. So those are our top 2 goals. Number 1, obviously, education, empowerment. Number 2 is so that way if you do need any type of natural pet care supplies or supplements, you have a trusted place where you can go and you know that everything there is naturally healthy for your pet. Having said that, we also posted last week, Dr. Judy went through all of the supplements that she feeds her pet. And some of the comments from people that had not followed the page and they didn't know anything about her or her pets, they said, well, why are you giving your pets all these supplements when you could just be giving them a good diet? And, we all kind of laughed because we were like, obviously, you don't know what page you're on. But yeah, of course, that is true in some cases where you can't out-supplement a poor diet. So our pets with allergies, for example, my dog Panda, we found out that she has a sensitivity to chicken. And so we were feeding her the highest quality commercial pet foods on the market and rotating with home cooking, but we were including chicken. So her itching wasn't getting any better, even though she's on these high quality diets, because she was sensitive to chicken. We have some other pets that come to us with severe allergies and they're on a really low quality kibble with a bunch of carbs, fillers, binders. And, the pet owner says, oh, I got Apoquil from my veterinarian because we couldn't figure out how to address the allergies. And in that case, that would be a case where I'd say, okay, look at the diet first, see what you can do with just your diet. And then you might need to add in, like the WinPro Allergy Chews or the PEA or something along those lines. So back to the basics for us means focusing on your pet's diet. We talk all the time about high quality species appropriate diets. However, some people might not know where to start. You might want to home cook, but you're not sure how to do it properly, or you might just want to shoot for commercial brands. There are a lot of easy ways to incorporate high quality foods into your pet's diet, and a lot of them are very cost effective. So no matter what your pet is eating right now, there's a PDF on our website called Superfoods, and you can add any of those superfoods to your pet's diet to help boost the nutrient profile of whatever you're feeding. So a good example of that is eggs. If you go to the store, you can get eggs and you can add it to your pet's meals a few times a week. So that is a great place to start. We do also recommend Susan Thixton's list at truthaboutpetfood.com. It's a whole list of commercial diets that are really high quality and great for your pet. So you can start there if you'd like commercial pet food options. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you want to throw a bazillion supplements at your pet, try first to really look at their diet and see what you can do there. And then take the next step. And if you say, okay, we have tons of people that email us and say, I'm on a limited income. I have $40 that I can spend on my pet. And here are some of the symptoms that they're experiencing. And we will work with those people to say, okay, if in a dream world, if you had an unlimited budget, here are the 4 things that would be really helpful for your pet. However, in your case, you might want to try, a probiotic first, whatever the case is. And so we'll work with people and say, hey, you know what, if you can add some eggs or sardines or fresh vegetables, finely chopped or cooked into their diet, that's a great first step. And if you're on a limited income, we can say, okay, here's one product that we think might help your pet. You can try it. If it doesn't, then we can move down the list and try something else. But this isn't the type of process where people come to us and we're like, oh, cha-ching, here, spend hundreds of dollars in our online store. No, that's not us at all. Like we do so much stuff for free because we really want to help people to the point where we work 7 days a week, pretty much 24/7. I wake up and I'm answering questions on Facebook. But it's because genuinely it's what we love to do. We care about you all. We care about the pets. And this is really our main goal as a team, as a whole team. And I'm speaking on behalf of Dr. Judy because I know that she would agree with me on this. We've talked about it endlessly. And so just to summarize, so again, if you're overwhelmed with supplements, start with the diet. If you need help, try to pick, or you have limited resources or you're feeling overwhelmed, pick one thing, or we can help you pick one thing to try. And just kind of, you can work your way up from there and see what works best for your pet. So I just wanted to leave you guys with our 6 ways to keep your pet naturally healthy. If you joined our mailing list, you got an email with these 6 things. So this might be a repeat for some of you that already have this information. But number 1, a high quality species appropriate diet is one of the best ways to keep your pet naturally healthy. I should probably get that tattooed on my forehead at this point. We talk about it so much. So what that means for cats are pretty much obligate carnivores. They need lots of meat. Kibble, dry foods are really, really hard on our cat's digestive system. It burns out their kidneys. Really want a high moisture, high meat diet for cats. For dogs, they still need quite a bit of meat and moisture, but they do also need a little bit of a higher percentage of like vegetable matter, fruits, things like that. But you still, the kibbles and the dry food are still really hard on our dogs. They process it a little bit better than cats, but it's not the greatest. So if you are feeding kibble, like I said, that superfood topper that you can add to your pet's meals is a great start. or even just like a canned food or a freeze-dried raw, anything that you can kind of do to step up the level of the percentage of meat and moisture. Number two, minimizing vaccinations. So that means getting titers. If your veterinarian doesn't support you in getting titers, there are ways that you can actually have the blood drawn by your veterinarian and sent to a separate lab. So there are a lot of options now for titering your pets instead of getting them unnecessarily vaccinated every year. Minimizing chemical exposure. So this means understanding, like heartworm, for example, understanding your pet's risks for heartworm, and also by location trying to figure out, do you need heartworm prevention all year long? In a lot of places it gets cold enough in the winter that you don't, so we have tons of more information on our website if you haven't heard of the kind of heartworm risk factors. Also doing stool samples. I've seen a lot recently of people that just have their young animals on a dewormer, even though they have had negative stool samples. That's the type of thing that you want to run the stool sample, and if you have a negative stool sample, you don't need to deworm your dog needlessly. Or cat. People do it to kittens too. Number four is flea and tick chemicals. We talk about this a lot. There are natural options on our website. There are also some home recipes. I think there's like an apple cider vinegar based home spray. Animalio has essential oils that you can mix up into your own little spray or pet on your animal. There are a lot of natural options at this point that you can do for flea and ticks. The traditional chemicals are very, very toxic to our pets. Number five, mental stimulation and physical activity. We don't actually talk about this quite as much, but mental stimulation and physical activity are very, very important for our pets. I know for my fellow cat lovers, they don't seem like they need a lot because they sleep quite a bit, but they will. I've noticed with my cats when I put the effort into, getting out a toy and playing with them, or in my case, I can let them supervised outside for a little bit on our porch. So anything that you can do for your cat or dog with mental stimulation and physical activity is really, really great for their health. And also, if you can take your dog for a short walk every day, there's been research showing that that's obviously better for their overall health, and it can actually help with some of these degenerative issues later down the line by keeping them active and mobile. And then number six is a full physical examination by your veterinarian every year. We recommend also, if you can, getting blood work, a urinalysis, a stool sample, and for most people, a heartworm test at the beginning of each year. And like I said, if your pet has a negative stool sample, there's no need to bombard them with dewormers. So anyway, those are our top 6 ways to keep your pet naturally healthy. There are obviously plenty of products and supplements that we feel are very beneficial to your pets and can help with various ailments and help them have a happy, healthy, long life. However, we understand that this is not a perfect world and people have restrictions for one thing or another. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you have to focus on one thing, just try to focus on nutrition, and whether that's adding a superfood topper to your pet's meals, whether that's buying a higher quality commercial grade product that has more moisture in it, that's really key. Anything that you can do to just go back to the basics, start there. Then if you have room in your budget and you say, okay, my pet is still a little bit itchy or they're still a little yeasty and I want to dig into this more, then you can say, all right, here are some supplements that might help me with this situation. But this we don't typically recommend unless there's already a protocol in place. Like for mast cell tumors, there's probably 6 or 7 things that we know work really, really well together for mast cell tumors. Just start with the basics and try not to get overwhelmed. Just start with the basics of diet. And if you can add one thing at a time to try to see what helps your pet, and go from there. Ooh, number 7, holding off on spay and neutering. That's actually a good suggestion. We should probably look into that, but it's it always gets hairy because in our little segment, we have very responsible pet owners. But we also have done a lot of like rescue work and work with like puppy mills and hoarders and things like that. And so it's tough to make blanket statements. But yes, in general, if you're a responsible pet owner, holding off on spaying and neutering your pet is fantastic. All right. Someone asked for a link to the shop. It's drjudymorgan.com. Let me see if I can reply. Oh, Judy Morgan already did it. Judy Morgan is watching me. I think one of these, we have the next 2 weeks like planned out, but one of these days I might talk about what I've learned about natural bird care. So I've learned a lot about birds. The website is truthaboutpetfood.com, and the woman's name is Susan Thixton, and that's what she does. I think it's a minimum of a $10 donation, but she spends all her time and energy in researching the pet food industry and talking about recalls and issues, so she's a good woman to support. All right, I hope you all have a fantastic day.